All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're diving into a really powerful vision for Korea's future, one that comes from the speaker Trin Gong. And let me tell you, it's a perspective that's going to challenge just about everything you might think you know about history, politics, and maybe even our place in the universe. So right at the very heart of this whole vision is this just startling prediction. The idea is that a massive, world-altering shift is coming. And the first sign? People all over the globe are going to start learning Korean. Now, this isn't just about language, of course. It's a symbol for a much deeper change, a fundamental shift in the world's center of gravity.
So this great change, what is it really? Well, it marks this huge turning point for all of humanity. The core idea is that we've finished one historical age and have now stepped into a brand new one. The time for just growing is over. Now it's time for action.
And this timeline here kind of lays it all out. The prior heaven era, you can think of that as humanity's long childhood, a huge period of learning and growing that supposedly ended on a very, very specific date, December 21st, 2012. And from 2013 on, we're in what's called the later heaven era. In this view, humanity has finally grown up, and now we have to start acting like it, using all the wisdom we've gained.
Okay, so if we're in this new era, what does that mean for the world today? Well, it completely flips the script on one of the most tense situations on the planet. The way North Korea is seen in this vision, it's a total departure from everything you normally hear.
This is where it gets really interesting. This vision just completely inverts the standard story. Instead of an enemy, North Korea is framed as a sacrificing brother. Not a threat to be contained, but a guardian who willingly took on immense hardship, all to protect the South while it grew strong. So unification isn't about one side taking over the other. It's about mutual respect and a whole lot of healing.
And this quote, this is absolutely crucial. It's arguing that you can't even begin to talk about real unification until you acknowledge this incredible sacrifice. What that means is the first step isn't some political negotiation. It's the South expressing gratitude, recognizing the pain that the brother in the North went through for the sake of the whole.
So once this internal family healing is done, a unified Korea is then envisioned to take on this massive new role on the world stage. It's the role of the world's mediator. But to do that, it needs a very specific and, pretty controversial kind of strength.
Right, the nuclear question. The logic laid out here is, well, it's bold. The goal isn't to be aggressive, it's to be a steward for peace. It's a three-step process. First, you have to possess the ultimate form of power. Second, you make a binding promise to the world you'll never use it to attack anyone. And third, you use that moral authority to step in and stop the bigger, gangster-like nations from picking on the smaller ones.
And that's the real kicker, isn't it? The whole point of this power isn't about national gain. Its only purpose is to protect the entire human family. It gives Korea the strength to stand up to any aggressor, anywhere, and say, hey, stop. Do not touch our human family.
So we've covered geopolitics, we've talked about this idea of nuclear stewardship, but all of this is actually built on a really deep spiritual philosophy. This next part explains the why. The metaphorical role Korea is meant to play for all of us.
The central metaphor here is that all of humanity is like one giant tree. You know, other nations might be the branches or the leaves. They're visible, they're active. But in this vision, Korea's role is to be the root system. Its purpose isn't to be the most seen, but to be the most essential, the foundation that produces truth and provides stability for the whole world.
And being the root comes with a pretty serious job description. It's not about ruling, it's all about serving. The job is to produce universal truths, to help guide other nations toward harmony, and to honor the sacrifices of all ancestors, from every nation, who brought humanity to this point. This entire mission, this whole purpose, is summed up in the idea of Honggik Ingan.
So what is Honggik Ingan? It's a foundational concept in Korean culture, and it means to broadly benefit the human world. According to this teaching, this isn't just some old philosophy, it is the core spiritual DNA of the Korean people. It's the very reason they've been prepared for this global leadership role.
So we've gone from geopolitics all the way to a nation's spiritual purpose, but how does this connect to you and me as individuals? Well, this final part brings it all home, framing this as the ultimate evolution for every single human being alive today.
Okay, this is a profound one. The speaker is asserting that our current lives, this one right here, this is the last time we will exist in a physical, human form. This is it. This is our final exam, our one great opportunity to complete our spiritual work here. So what's the goal of this final lifetime? It's to become a Datongun. And what's that? It's an enlightened being, someone who has truly mastered universal truth. The ultimate vision is that all of humanity makes this evolutionary jump, graduating from who we are now into beings who serve the entire cosmos, like gods or Buddhas.
And here's the beautiful twist. The goal isn't really about personal salvation or some individual reward. The whole purpose of all this work, all this sacrifice, is completely selfless. It's to make sure that the next plane of existence, the next world, is a beautiful, harmonious place for all the souls who will come after us.
So this whole worldview, from politics to our own spiritual destiny, is built on this idea of one nation having a spiritual mission for everyone. And it leaves us with this really provocative question to think about. What actually happens when a nation's identity isn't tied to its borders or its economy, but to a spiritual mission for the entire world?